Excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the e-estate seminar, webinar, presentation, whatever you want to call it. My name's Andy Galloway. I'm in the UK at the moment. It's 8 p.m. UK time, various times at in different parts of the world, obviously. So what we're going to do this evening is just have a quick look through a lot of the information that's available for you to build your e-estate business. We'll also look at what the e-estate business is, what tokenized property is all about, how you can get involved as either a buyer or as an agent or as both, what the benefits are to you, where the industry is going, and so on. As much stuff as I can cram into about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I believe that I've been giving presentations on lots of different things for about 40 years or so, and my watchword has always been that the mind can only absorb as much as the bum can endure. And typically, that's going to be about 35 minutes or so. So thus, I may have to talk fast, but I'm recording this. This will be available on YouTube later, and it's also a video that's going to be suitable for giving out to your friends, neighbors, relatives. Anybody you know in real estate will need to have a look at this because they would love e-estates, and anybody who's ever been interested in making money in real estate, then let them watch this video as well and grow your e-estate business by helping them build their property portfolio. So without further ado, I'm going to go over to some other screens. We're going to have a look at a video. We're also going to go and have a look at some stuff that's been posted in the Wealth Warriors, so in the Telegram group, the e-estate Telegram group, to give us some ideas of the different promotions. There's so much stuff happening around e-estate every single day. It's hard to keep track of it all, but just try. There's a lot of great stuff comes up in the Telegram groups. So let's go over to this video. I love this video. Just take me a few seconds to get there. Let somebody else in. So yeah, we should be looking at a YouTube page. I'm going to make that a bit bigger now. And I'm sorry, I don't think I did the right thing with the share. I apologize. I'm going to stop the share and we'll redo that. And just in case you think that you have to be perfect in order to make this work, I'm just going to reassure you, you absolutely don't. You can make plenty of mistakes and still make some money from this thing. So there we go. Let's get this video shown. I love this video. It's less than 2 minutes, and it gives a real flavor of what's happening, not only with e-estate, but it's also happening in the real estate industry in general. It's going through a huge change, as most things are in the world with the advent of the internet. These changes are still rippling on 20 years later. With the advent of digital currency and social networking and so on and so forth, all of these changes are coming to a head now, and it's really having an impact on the real estate business. But we'll talk more about that after this video.
The future of real estate investment starts here. The real estate market is long overdue for change. High entry costs, low liquidity, bureaucracy, and hidden fees have made traditional property investment complex and inaccessible. E-estate is redefining the industry. Through EST, Estate Token, we enable seamless property ownership, investment, and income generation. Real assets are tokenized on the Binance Smart Chain, ensuring full transparency, security, and a stable source of income. Every asset undergoes AI-driven analysis, legal verification, and expert evaluation, guaranteeing capital protection. E-estate is not just a platform, it's the new standard in real estate investment. Benefits for buyers. Imagine having the flexibility to invest in real estate while earning consistent returns without the hassle of traditional ownership. With EST tokens, this vision is now a reality. For as little as $117, you can enter the digital real estate market and enjoy legally backed property ownership, blockchain-secured transactions for full transparency, lifetime passive income from rental profits, global access without geographic restrictions. Estate Token, a new era of real estate. We are revolutionizing traditional assets by transforming them into EST tokens. Each token is a digital representation of physical real estate with its value tied to tangible assets. EST introduces an innovative two-phase income model. 1. The active phase, first 18 months. Enhanced daily returns of 0.41% to 1%, providing a powerful opportunity to accelerate your capital growth. 2. The passive phase. Lifetime earnings of 10% annually, paid out every 6 months. The more you invest, the higher your buyer status, unlocking premium properties and exclusive privileges. Digital real estate offers real financial growth without the limitations of the traditional market. Benefits for real estate agents. eEstate introduces a groundbreaking approach to the real estate business. Agents can earn commissions on transactions, build client networks, and generate passive income. How agents earn. Deal commission, instant commissions from every transaction across 8 levels. Profit commission, passive earnings from clients' rental properties across 5 levels. Agent bonus, additional rewards for sales milestones and career growth up to 10 levels. E-token, ETK, digital incentives for task completion and rank progression. Additional earning opportunities. Money Wheel. Spin for 100 ETK and win between $1 to $1,000 per spin. E-Wallet, a secure, instant payout system for managing your funds. The future of digital real estate. Every transaction on eEstate is backed by legal contracts and blockchain-based smart contracts on the Binance Smart Chain, ensuring secure and tamper-proof deals. Strategically headquartered in Panama, eEstate operates in a tax-friendly jurisdiction, ensuring full legal compliance and zero taxation on international earnings. Join the digital real estate revolution and start earning today.
A little over a decade ago, Tony Robbins taught Oprah to walk on fire. According
There we go. Smooth as silk. You know, never see the joins. Okay, guys, so I love that video because it just sums up everything. I'm kind of redundant now. If you've watched that and you've understood that, then there's nothing really more for me to add. I will keep talking because you know, there may just be a couple of things that I say that will prompt you to understand things a little bit better or to ask some questions. Okay, but this is the future of real estate. I've been talking to a lot of real estate people since I got involved in eEstate, and they're all quite fascinated by how little you need to get started. Not only how little you need in terms of, well, let me tell you what it took when I had a property business. I spent most of my life, before I ever did my first deal, I spent a lot of my time advertising to find customers, going to networking breakfasts and tapping up my contacts in the industry and trying to find customers. I also spend a lot of time talking to solicitors and real estate agents on the high street, developers, people who are actually building houses, architects who are being approached to design housing developments and so on, and then going to visit the construction companies, developing a rapport with the boss. And this is all before I've ever taken a property, sold a property, made any money. It was weeks and weeks of hard work in the car, morning, noon, and night, to develop all these contacts to get my finger on the pulse of what was happening in the property industry in my local area, let alone going further afield to 50 miles or 100 miles. That was just unthinkable. I didn't have the resources, I didn't have enough time, enough bandwidth to do that. To have a global real estate portfolio was just totally unthinkable until I had built my business up and franchised it, and I had 10,000 other people supporting me. Then I could have possibly gone ahead and built a global empire, but that was never going to happen. I was just working too hard just to make a little bit of income. But I was pretty good at it and had some success, but nowhere near as much success as I wanted, nowhere near as much success as I should have got for the amount of time, money, and effort that I put in. So now look at e-estate. You can just go on to you can register free of charge to become a buyer. You can register and you have access to properties all around the world. You can get involved for as little as $117. In fact, once in a while there's a special offer on and you can get involved for even less than that. And I suggest you reserve that for people who really just need to be convinced that this is real. So because you're not going to see, you're not going to get excited by making 4 cents a day from a $10 investment in a property. But people who just need to see that it's working, by all means, introduce them at that level. There's also some parts of the world where $10 might be all they have. Well, it's better to get them in and doing something and introducing their friends rather than doing nothing. So really the $117, you get in for that level, but you can get in at any level. You can buy any one of a number of different properties. And again, this is different because I used to have to build my whole knowledge base all over again. If I went from apartments and residential houses, if I wanted to go into commercial property or commercial developments, or I wanted to go into land deals, I would have to go on a course. I'd have to take time off work. I'd have to redo my whole database, create some new documents to get to give out to people for them to sign. So the whole thing, just moving from one part of the real estate industry into another part, would take a huge amount of time, money, and effort. And every time I wanted to get into a different area, I had to do it all over again. And of course, there was only one of me. I had to make some money by moving these properties before I could employ people to do it for me, which of course eventually I did. But boy, was it an uphill struggle. It took many, many months. In fact, probably took me over a year to take on my first employee. Whereas with e-estate, you don't need employees. Okay, you've got access to all these properties. You've got land deals, you've got commercial development, business properties, residential properties, villas, tourist properties, apartments, all over the world. Click of a button and in you go. All it requires is for you to make the necessary investment, which isn't a huge amount. If I wanted to buy a villa in California, I would need to come up with, if the villa was worth $2 or $3 million, I'd need to come up with $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I can get involved now in a villa in California for I haven't got the price in front of me, but it's something like $5,000. Gets me a slice of the pie. Okay, so it's a vastly different thing when you start looking at real estate. And that's why I say that the people who'll be interested in this are people who are already in real estate, or people who have heard that there's a lot of money to be made in real estate and they'd like to get started, but they don't know how. So let's have a quick look at some of the stuff that's available to us in our Telegram group, because there's so much stuff happens there almost every day. And here we are looking at the Telegram group. That's me, just in case you didn't know. Going back up, this was a friend of mine, Anthony Deloach, who did a webinar yesterday. We've also got, sorry, I think I am in the wrong place. Okay. So here we have an update for the app for your phone. Okay, so there's been some great features added, and again, you can go here and read all about it, and then download the app and update it. Going back up the list here, there's a summit. We're having a summit on January the 31st in Miami. Okay, so by all means, join us, figure out what you have to do to get there, and look forward to getting there and being educated a bit more about e-estate and why it's the future of the real estate industry. There's awards you can win. Okay, Agents of the Month. You get your name up in lights. You earn some other rewards as well. You always see how much profit's been made every single day. And there's these meetings are done in different languages, so keep an eye on this this e-estate official channel. It gives you all the information you need to keep up to date and to have all the information available. Because you need to be knowledgeable about these things. People are going to ask you questions. You don't need to know everything, but you just need to have confidence to be able to talk to people, or at least be able to show them where things are. Okay, so let's stop that share and go back to the. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go back to the e-estate. And this is what I'm going to do here is go through the some of the information that's available in the information hub. Okay, so we have this knowledge base. This is available once you're registered. Very, very simple menu system at the top here. An information hub. There's an FAQ for general and for buyers and for agents. There's also documentation, and this is where I'm going to go. We are going to look at the presentation for the buyers. I'm also going to load up the presentation for the agents, and we'll go into that in just a second. So you have access to all of this information. So what is e-estate? Basically it's bringing together the buyers and tokenized property, and it's powered by the blockchain. So it's all ethical and above board. You can monitor all the transactions on the blockchain. It's on the BSC blockchain, Binance blockchain, one of the largest networks, one of the largest blockchains in the world. Okay, and you can rest assured that Binance don't allow things like this to happen on their blockchain if it's not legal, ethical, above board, and so on. So, what is tokenized ownership? So the company gets hold of a property, and instead of trying to find a single buyer for a $5 million villa in California, for example, or an apartment in Miami, or whatever the property is, they convert that property into tokens, and the tokens are our own tokens. They're called the EST token, and there's a reason why we need to use our own token, and that is because we have control of the value of that token, because the number of tokens that are produced have to reflect the value of that property. If we buy that property with Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin doubles, for example, or goes up by 10%, okay, then the value of that property hasn't increased by 10%. So there's disparity there between the amount of Bitcoin that we're asking for and the value of the property. So and likewise, Bitcoin could go down in price. So now we're asking for too much money for the property. So we have our own token, and the price of that token is pegged to the value of all the real estate in the portfolio. So we can sell off that property by selling tokens. You can buy a few tokens, you can buy a lot of tokens. It's entirely up to you. There's a minimum level that you can't go below. We'll look at that in just a minute. So the point is, it's a low entry barrier, which real estate businesses traditionally haven't. I told you my heart-wrenching story just now about how difficult it is to get a real estate business started and up and running, and to expand it. It really is hard work, and it takes a lot of money. Whereas here it's a very low entry to barrier, low barrier to entry, because you can just sign up on the website. That takes a few minutes, no hardship. You can do that in your pajamas with a cup of coffee. Okay, you can deposit a few dollars, buy a property, and within 10 minutes you're part owner of a property somewhere in the world. And it's always going to be a high-end property, great value. It's always going to hold its value, and you're going to make money going forward. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So once you bought one property, because it's so easy, you can buy another one, and you can have an apartment in Miami. You can have some land in Scotland, maybe. You can have a villa in Bali. All sorts. So you don't have to go there and visit and check out the property and employ solicitors and barristers lawyers to go and check these things out. You don't need to do any conveyancing or checks of on the land or the property, previous owners, none of that. You just put some money into your e-estate account, push the button, and you own part of a property. Somebody else has already done all that. Then, of course, once you own the property, you would normally then have to go out and find tenants for your property. That's all taken care of. Your income every day is guaranteed. The tenants are already in place. There's a company called Eli Property, who is one of our partners. They take care of everything to do with the property, from sourcing it in the first place, tokenizing it, and then looking after it going forward, making sure we get our money every single day. You don't need to worry about any of that. It's an incredible, incredible system. Blockchain security and global reach. We talked about global reach a little bit there. So once you're in as a buyer, you can buy different properties at different levels. When you're at level 1, you can buy apartments or houses, villas, tourism properties, which may be a villa, maybe a mansion. Who knows what's gonna turn up? Commercial properties and business properties. So, sorry, not business properties. So commercial properties. So that's all at level 1. So as soon as you join, you can buy any or all of those, and it tells you here the different daily returns, how much you're going to get, the active phase, the auto capitalization, and so on. We'll cover a little bit more of that in a minute. This is all available on the website, so you don't need to memorize this. This is all available on the website. When you're a level 2 buyer, you can buy business properties. They give a much better return. You make a lot more money from them. Level 3 land plots, level 4 developments of apartments or possibly individual houses and so on, apart from in California, obviously. If you don't know what's happening with real estate in California, then and you want to get involved in real estate in California, you need to do this, because you won't be able to do it any other way. Level 5, business development, as in building warehouses and factories and distribution centers and this sort of thing. So tremendous profit to be made from those. So there's a profit calculation. I'm not going to go through that again. Before you buy a property, you get to see all this on the screen before you actually push the button. You get daily returns 5 days a week. Okay, then it's Monday to Friday. So that's 132 days every 6 months. 18 months is 396 days. So that's important to know when you're receiving your when you're working towards your passive phase. And this is important to know when you're looking at when you get paid your yield every 6 months indefinitely. So phase 1, you get tremendous earnings for the first 18 months. After 18 months, you move to a 10% annual yield paid 6 months indefinitely. For the lifetime of that property, which can be 20, 30, 40 years, you will receive 10% annual yield. Now, that might not sound like a lot when compared to all the promises you're being made on the internet with cryptocurrency, with trading, with arbitrage bots and all these sorts of things. But this is real estate, and typically in real estate, if you get 8% annual yield, you're really, you're doing really well. Out of that 8%, you've then still got to pay all sorts of costs, like your accountants. Like I said, all of these costs about developing the contacts, maintaining the contacts, going to visit properties and so on. That all comes out of your 8% yield. Here you get 10% yield for doing nothing. And so the option is that you buy some property. Within about 6 or 7 months, you've recovered your money. You then take that money and buy another property. So now you've got 2 properties earning you a lot of money for the next 18 months. Well, the first 18 months, you should recover your money maybe 2.5 or 3 times over. Okay, and then it goes into this 10% ongoing passive income. So you want your plan, my plan. I can't tell you what your plan is going to be, because I'm not here to give you advice. I'm not able to give you advice because I don't know your circumstances. But my plan is to just keep adding properties at the front end to load up this back end, all of these 10% yields, keep adding to my personal wealth on an ongoing basis. Year after year after year, just keep adding more and more and more 10% yields from all of these properties, and all of those properties being paid for from all of the properties that are paying me out in that first 18-month period. So that's my plan. You can do your plan whatever you like. So I'm not going to go into this because I see the time's getting away from us. You heard on the video about the property wheel. the money wheel, sorry. The team partners we have Brandon Stevenson is the CEO of eEstate. He's also the founder of the Association of Real Digital Realtors. If you become an agent at a later stage, you become an agent, then you will be registered with these people and you will get a certificate to show that you are a certified real digital realtor. Mike Hamilton runs Eli Property. They're the people that do everything with the property. And then between Mike and Brandon, they developed eEstate to join the two parts of this puzzle together. So it's like a triangle, if you like, a symbiosis. These two companies support eEstate. And you can check these companies out. There's a huge amount to check into. Eli Properties has been around since the 70s, I believe. I did check a lot of their documents, company documents, filings, and so on and so forth. ARDR, I haven't checked into them too much just yet, but you know, they're all consummate professionals in the real estate industry. So how do you get started? Well, you register and you get verified. You need to be verified in order to register. You can't buy property without the company knowing who you are. That's just the rules. You can choose your investment level, okay, and then you acquire tokens, fund your account. Now you do that simply by making a deposit into your e-wallet. So you just deposit some Bitcoin or some USDT or some Ethereum or whatever you've got lying around down the back of the sofa, and send it in, and that all ends up in your e-wallet, and you can then go and buy some properties. Now you do that if you wanted to buy 3 or 4 different properties, maybe. So you put a load of money into your eEstate e-wallet and go then and buy different properties. If you only want to buy one property, then you don't even need to do that. All you do is, as you go through the process of buying the property, you select the option to make the deposit, and it'll tell you how much Bitcoin to deposit and give you the wallet address, how much Ethereum, and so on. Whichever coin you choose, it'll tell you exactly how much to deposit and give you the wallet address, so you can do that in the process of buying the property. And then once you have the property, then you just keep track of what you've got, how much you earn. If you select to auto compound, then what that means is your profits every day are being used to acquire a little bit more of the property for you. So your share of the property is going up. If you want to see money come back to you every day, then don't check the auto compound box, leave it blank, and then every day you'll see your daily profit come into your back office, your buyer's asset page, and you can then convert. You can just send that across to your e-wallet if you want to withdraw it, or if you want to buy more properties. Okay, now my plan is all of the profit I make is going back in to buy more properties. When you have the profit from your property buying you more properties, this is a very, very easy proposition to tell people about. And I'm finding people have a lot of interest just in that simple strategy that I'm following. You haven't got to follow that strategy. You can do what you like. It's your business. Legal risks and factors. And these are all legal risks that apply to an offline real estate business. Registration and jurisdiction, it's all done for you. We're registered in Panama. Compliance, there are KYC and AML regulations to comply with. You don't need to worry about those. It's all done for you. And there's tokenized assets. And if you were to try and set up a business where you tokenize property, well, the fees for your attorneys would be through the roof before you ever tokenize one single property. Let's not talk about that. Let's get to the take action list, which is start investing, contact us, learn more. And so once you're registered, you can use the information hub, which is where I got these documents. So the knowledge base. Okay, over here, the knowledge base. So what's an agent? Well, an agent is somebody who helps buyers acquire their properties. And what I recommend you do is, if you've got any interest at all in introducing somebody else to this, if you think it's a remote possibility that you might do it further down the line, do that first. Register as an agent before you buy your first property. And the reason is you make a commission based on your based on the property that your clients buy. And if you're your first, if you are your own first client, then you make a profit as an agent on what you buy as a buyer. I'm not sure if I explained that very well. It's not a difficult concept, but if you think that's something that would interest you, become an agent first. Now, as an agent, you need to complete more checks. Okay, go through a little checklist. Tell us a bit more about you. You know, what's your experience of real estate, and so on and so forth. Just work your way through that. Once you are going to register, you need to commit to paying $9 a month. I know, huge amount of money. $9 a month. As a subscription, you can also get a special discount by opting for the annual option of $90 per year. And that qualifies you then to be an agent, to make money from introducing other people and from buying your own properties. So if you have, in fact, I would say it's probably better if you're going to buy some properties, become an agent first, because the commissions you make as an agent will pay you $9 a month anyway. So how to apply? You agree to the membership fee, you make the online application, you sign a contract, and you then have access to the platform. And this is important. This signing a contract, you agree to be ethical and to not breach the rules, not to make wild claims about how much money people can make, and just so many things in there that you know, if you abide by that, you will be a fine, upstanding citizen. You won't be trying to, rope people into things that they don't want to do, that aren't good for them. So what income streams do you have? Well, you've got 4 main income streams. The first one is the deal commission. So when you, as your buyer, or other buyers you've introduced, or buyers they've introduced, when they buy property, you earn a commission. You saw that on the video. You also get a small commission on the profit that they receive every single day. You also get, as you move up through the ranks of as an agent, you achieve certain milestones, and you get bonuses for achieving those milestones. And there are certain things you do. You work your way through some checklists, and it seems like every time you do anything, you end up with an e-token reward. So the deal commissions from the people that you introduce and the people they introduce go down 8 levels. So you get a decreasing percentage as you go further down from you down to them. But of course, there could be many thousands of people on your 8th level compared to the 10 or 15 or so that will be on your 1st level. And profit commissions, in addition, you receive a share of the profits from the deals, the passive income. So the people you've introduced, when they receive their passive income, you receive 5%, 2nd level 2%, 3rd level 2%, and so on. So as well as building you up your own passive income from the properties you have, you're helping other people do the same thing, and you get rewarded for that. So to work your way up through the different agent levels, it's really just a function of the amount of turnover you have in your entire group, and then you receive these different bonuses. There's an e-token amount, an ETK amount, and a dollar amount. I'm not going to go through the percentage breakdown for the revenue share, simply because we're kind of out of time. I'm not going to go through the money wheel. So support and next steps: join eEstate now. Start earning today. You could literally be an agent in about half an hour and be introducing people a few seconds later. You don't get a referral link until you've fully registered as an agent. Okay, so that's the 2 presentations, if you like, the one for the buyer and the one for the agent. I'm just going to look very quickly here at the dashboard, give you this is an amalgamation, if you like, of all of the different information that's available in the site. All the different information that's available. And then if you want more detail on any of this, you go into the different parts of the system here. So as a buyer, you have access to your e-wallet, real estate in general. So that shows you all of the real estate and the real estate that you've purchased. under my assets. So let's have a look at real estate. So this is how to select a tokenized property. These are the apartments in Miami, apartments MIA, and it tells you how much profit you make per day, where the location is. And if you select it from the drop-down list here, it'll tell you the minimum investment is $10. You could put $1,000 in if you want to, and it'll tell you you make $4.20 a day, $88 per month, $1,000 per year, and you'll break even in 11 months. Okay, so this is not huge. This is not a great return. 0.32 to 0.52% is not bad. There aren't many real estate deals I've been in where you get you break even after 11 months. But let's suppose instead we wanted to go for another apartment. This is one that's $117 as a minimum to get in. But again, you can put in $2,000 if you want, and it'll tell you how much you're going to make per day, per month, per year, what your break-even point is, in this case, 9 months. So you get a better return, 0.41 to 0.61. And these apartments are in Seattle, Washington. And these villas are in Arch Cape, Oregon. Arch Cape, minimum of 480, 8 months to break even. And quickly look at the next one. This is a villa, minimum entry for $3,120. But again, you could say I want $5,000, 7 months to break even. These are in Los Angeles. And the reason for my comment earlier about Los Angeles, somebody told me today that nobody's going to be able to build individual residences in California. I don't know if that's from now, but there's a bill either in effect or coming into effect soon. So this is your chance in California to get into real estate without worrying about all of those rules and regulations. Tourism is sold out, unfortunately, but this was in Bali, Indonesia. And you can see you're going to break even after 6 months. Business property in Phoenix, Arizona. You need $10,000 to get in and break even after 6 months. Business premises. I can't access this because I'm not a level 2. I don't have level 2 access. But if I did, that's $25,000 to get in. Break even 6 months. Now look at this. Put in $25,000. Within 6 months, I've got my $25,000 back. So I can buy another one of these. But regardless of that, over the next 6 months, so months 7 to 12, I get another $25,000. Months 13 to 18, I get another $25,000. And then I get $2,500 per year for the rest of my life, or the rest of the life of the property. That's an incredible deal. Get 3 times your money back, plus then you go into this passive income phase. That's an incredible deal. And this is how you can build your portfolio, because you take that £25,000 you get back initially, and then after another 6 months, buy another property. So now you've got 4. After another 6 months, buy another property. Now you've got 5. Excuse me. But with the second property now, you've done the same thing. So now you've got 7. With the third property, you do that again. Now you've got 9. And it just goes crazy. That's my plan. You do what you want. There are land plots in California, in Los Angeles. There's developments in Dubai, and there's business developments in Dubai. So that's all the property that's available to you for you to purchase as a buyer in e-estate. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to come back to the room now, and I'm going to say thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you found that useful. This is going to be a video that's posted on YouTube, and this video should be suitable for you to send out to your friends who are either in real estate already, so that they can see how the real estate market is moving on and why they're working twice as hard now as they were 5 years ago and probably getting less results. So the people in real estate right now will be interested in this. Also, people who have heard that you can make good money in real estate but don't know how to do it, don't know how to get started. Now you can show them this, and between you can figure out how to get started. It's very, very easy compared to setting up a bricks and mortar. Sorry, no pun intended. a bricks and mortar real estate business. So I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to say thank you for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you again next Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, same channel.